and Nerve Center. Hina Neuro, established since 2017 and founded by Seventh-day Adventists. We provide a Christ-centered patient care through specialized medical services from brain and surgery to neurodiagnostic tests. Whatever your condition, headaches, strokes, brain and spine tumors, brain and spine injury, weakness in arms and legs, seizures, and so much more, your recovery is just a phone call away. Call us today at 459-2228 or 459-2229 or 714-5503. Hina Neuro, the Brain, Spine, and Nerve Center.
Dear church, remember me.
Welcome to Mind Your Business, a program strategically designed to equip you to be your brother's keeper. Here are your hosts, Pastor Leroy David and Elder Alvin Flora.
So come on and tell somebody.
Hello, 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 hello. Wonderful. Hello, Wednesday. Hello, Mind Your Business. Hello to you who's joining us on the program, Mind Your Business, program number 6. And, you know, we're very happy. Certainly, our happiness is, just coming here and serving you, fresh programming, enlightening, educating, right? And also very interesting programming. So we just want to thank you for joining us and trust that you had a wonderful lunch and you are now going to use the enzyme of Mind Your Business to digest that beautiful lunch that you just had. And certainly you will need that energy today because the discussion will be quite riveting. So put on your seatbelts, your hard hats, and whatever else that you need to get ready as we delve into our program for today. Let me say welcome to you, whether you're listening from St. Lucia. And St. Lucia is a wonderful place to be, especially this week. Everyone has their blue, white, black, yellow. I said it in that order. Yes. And nous ka aller devant ensemble et puis santé et well-being. How do you say well-being? Pastor David will help us with that. For a prosperous nation. Let me say that again. Devant ensemble, health and well-being for a prosperous nation. Certainly, and this is the area we're dealing with there, mental health, that is, and well-being. Certainly, as we delve into the topic, you will know we are following our theme for independence. And of course, it's the Wednesday before independence. So we certainly must get a topic that will liberate our minds and bring us to a place of freedom. And our discussion entails that, certainly. So welcome to all of you to another program. Our main subject today, the authentic man. Are you ready for him? Let me say that again. The authentic man. Are you ready for him? And our objective to help the MYB family understand the importance of authenticity and how to express and support it. Let me say that again. To help the MYB family understand the importance of authenticity and how to express and support it. Our key text, do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, rather in humility, value others above yourselves, not looking to your own interests, but each of you to the interests of the others. And that is taken from Philippians chapter 2, verses 3 and 4. And our subject text is Galatians 1, verse 10. Very interesting one indeed. Am I now trying to win the approval of human beings or of God? Or am I trying to please people? If I was still trying to please people, I would not be a servant of Christ. I think that I need to say that again. Galatians 1 verse 10 says, am I trying to win the approval of human beings or of God? Or am I trying to please people? If I was still trying to please people, I would not be a servant of Christ. Galatians chapter 1 verse 10, the New International Version. Let me say thank you to Pastor Dr. Caius Alfred for adding some insight to our program last week on Jealous Like God. And it was truly an interesting program of how to handle and cope with jealousy, especially in the society that we live in today. Of course, with me is Pastor David. Of course, one of the most busy directors in the St. Lucia Mission. And, a whole theme is dedicated to him. Let me say that theme again. Devant ensemble, health and well-being for a prosperous nation. I introduce our health director.
So how is that a theme for? I wonder how is that theme for me, Elizabeth. But let me say greetings and salutations to everyone. And I do hope and pray that you are truly excited about today's discussion. The authentic man, indeed, we should be ready for him. But the question really and truly is, are you ready for him? And I'm almost curious to ask for the responses from our listeners and viewers already. And so I know today promises to be an exciting one. I couldn't get a word for well-being in Creole.
Mm-hmm.
Bien c'est en Creole.
Pastor Charles will have to tell us this one. I'll have to tune into the lesson study to find out what it is.
Yes.
Creole consultant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So
Pastor Charles, good afternoon to you. If you're listening, tuned in, and you have an assignment. Instead of a translation.
Yeah, but we'll get it by God's grace. So stay tuned and of course, rest assured, be ready to ask your questions. We're looking forward to that healthy discussion. Let's pray. Eternal God, loving Father, we are thankful for your grace and mercy always with us. We're thankful for your hand in and upon our lives. And even today, dear God, for our viewers, listeners, and all of us here in the studio, may your blessing be with us as we lead this discussion, as we join in the discussion, and as we seek to learn. We pray in Jesus' name.
Amen. So in an interview in the film A Few Good Men, the question is posed in a court scene scenario with Tom Cruise, and he said that he wants the truth. And the response from Jack Nicholson came, "You can't handle the truth."
Mm-hmm.
That was the climax of the movie A Few Good Men. This is a good theme for a movie because it's a universal concern that most people have, that we need more good men in society. Notice I said good, I didn't say nice. Men who dare to tell the truth even when it's not what one wants to be heard. Let me say that again. Men who will dare to tell the truth even when it's not what wants to be heard. And truly, we needed a guest who would be able to speak to the truth. And of course, we have identified someone who is here with us, and that is Brother Marvin James. He is a social worker at the Human Services Department. He has experience of 5 years working with patients at the Mental Wellness Center. He is completing his master's degree in marriage and family counseling. We have also, who will join us a bit later, we have Brother Stephen Edward. He is a family case worker at Human Services for more than 10 years. He has a master's degree in counseling psychology from UWI. So he will join us later. And right now we have with us Brother Marvin James. Welcome, Brother James, to our platform again. And this is not an unfamiliar place.
Yeah,
we can consider it to be family. Yes. So welcome to you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for joining us on this program.
It's a pleasure and an honor.
Yes. So we're going straight into our discussion. And again, if you're just joining us, the subject is the authentic man. Are you ready for him? Now, when we talk about manhood, don't tune off the radio because you're not a man. All right? Don't say, it is for everybody. That discussion, because everyone is impacted in some way or the other by a man.
And everyone is interested in the authentic man as well.
You say that?
Yeah. Just ask the question.
Everybody wants an authentic man?
No. He's interested.
Are you interested in an authentic man? Am I posing the question?
No.
Yeah, I think we need to rephrase that question.
Rephrase it?
Yeah, the way you push that there.
Yeah.
We need to modify that.
Yeah, I agree. But what I'm saying, despite whoever, everyone is interested in who that is, you know, the authentic man. So rest assured you'll get it. So everybody is tuned.
Right.
Whether they want or not, they will remain tuned.
Perhaps we should begin with a question that I don't have on my paper, but what is really authenticity? I mean, that should be the buzzword today.
It's truth. Being true to yourself, being real about who you are, standing for principles that you hold dear.
Right. So being yourself.
Even when pressure reach on you. Remember in school when the fellas used to try and get you to do magic yourself, and you'd have to say, nah, I want to do that. Yeah, that's being authentic. Yeah. Otherwise, they'll say something and I say, you're magic, and then you
pressure.
Yeah. That's you not being authentic. Because in reality, you didn't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But because of pressure, you
did something that you
did
did not
something
want to,
that you did not want to
do.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, but is authenticity something that is taught?
I don't know if you can teach that. That's something about principles and who you are as a person.
Because I'm looking at how boys are brought up.
How?
That contributes to their authenticity.
Yeah, because I was about to say, it depends on how you define being taught or teaching.
Modeling is teaching.
Modeling, exactly. So while it may not be in a conventional classroom, but modeling, role models, is
observation.
Yeah. So it can be taught, passed on,
Or modeled.
or modeled.
Or model.
So,
Or suppressed.
well,
Suppressed. Your
Yeah.
authenticity can be suppressed.
yeah.
You know, why did you say it like that? And why are you expressing it like that?
Mm-hmm.
That's not the way to do it.
I think generally society tries to tame men as soon as they're born instead of letting them be authentic from the jump. So, I mean, I get it. We aggressive, we stronger, we have a propensity for harm or whatever. So at some level, there need to be guidance in the way a man grows up. But by and large, when you look at society, being a man is not a popular thing. I don't know if I'm the only one who's seeing it. Yeah, if
Say that again.
being a man is not a popular thing in society. It's almost as if you have to prove your worth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let me put it like this, right? At 25, or let's say a young man 25, he goes into society. It'll be difficult for him to get married right away, especially in our economic situation, our society. Yeah.
Right.
So that man has no experience, probably 2-3 years experience working somewhere.
Right.
He's not as valuable to the economic landscape. Yeah. So the probability of him being able to support a family and starting something is a bit low. Yeah? A woman 25 can marry a rich man and we good.
And they're good.
Yeah, that is the end of the story there.
Yeah. So
Just press that
pressure.
easy button there and family on the way there and you're good.
But men don't have it like that.
Yeah, you have to work because the expectation is you have to take care of your family.
Yeah, you need to
have to
your
provide.
house and
You have to have a
land.
house, protect, have the money for the 7 children you want to make. You know what I'm saying? Nobody coming and save you from that
No,
responsibility.
that's yours. That's yours.
That's But I mean, you can be a woman looking fine and 25, you're off the market as soon as you say yes.
Yeah. There's a line of the same men, you know.
Yeah.
What's that?
I know. I was just about to say there's a line of the same men for that 25.
And the best one will get selected.
Yeah. So
That's what it is.
yeah.
So we maybe you can jump into now the nice guy syndrome. I've heard this saying before, and it's connected to authenticity. But let's hear what this syndrome is.
Yeah, so that's a excuse me. That was a term made popular by Dr. Robert Glover. He's a very good psychologist in terms of men's mental health. You could check him out on YouTube. He has a lot of good work. He wrote this book, No More Mr. Nice Guy, with the appropriate name. And he described it as a way of thinking, a way of looking at the world. So nice guys believe that if they're good and do everything right, they will be loved, they will get their needs met, and they will have a peaceful life. That's the ideology behind it. If I'm good, if I do everything right, I will be loved, I will get my needs met, and I'll have a very peaceful life. That's the underlying philosophy of nice guy syndrome.
That sounds something pretty fair and good to me.
It
If
does,
I'm-
right?
If I'm good.
Yeah,
And everything seems right there. So isn't the nice guy syndrome? They should inject Leroy, inject Richie.
Nah,
with
throw away that
syndrome.
vaccine.
Yes. Why is that?
Throw away that
Why is that
vaccine.
not a good thing? Is it not a good thing?
Nah, because being nice is a good thing,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
Being nice is a good thing. Being kind is a good thing. These are good things. But it has less to do with your behavior and more to do with the ideology. The ideology is flawed. No one owes you anything. Yeah? Because what generally tends to happen is there's a word for it, an unspoken contract. Yeah?
Yeah.
And you have that a lot in toxic relationships. Let's say me and you are friends.
Yes.
Yeah? And I say, oh, look, $20.
Yeah.
I give you that.
Mm-hmm.
And then next day I come, oh, yeah, so yeah, what's my vehicle for me? So if you like, give you the $20 for.
Mm-hmm.
So if you like, I'll just give you $20, you know you have to wash the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
That's an example of an unspoken contract.
Right.
Yeah? You got the $20. I tell you nothing when I give you the $20.
Right.
But there was an underlying expectation
Right.
that because I give you the $20, you now have to do something for me.
Okay.
That's the underlying philosophy of the nice guy syndrome.
Okay.
Yeah?
All right. Yeah.
Oh.
When I'm good,
Well, that's terrible.
I'll get my needs met.
Okay.
I will be loved
All right.
and I will have peace.
So I'm doing it for something.
It's performative.
Yes.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah? You understand why, even though it seems nice on the outside, there's an underlying toxicity at the back of it.
Right.
All right.
So your main reason for doing the nice thing
Is to receive.
is to receive something.
Yes.
So the nice guy syndrome is not a nice thing. No injection for Leroy. No injection for Richie. I didn't mention my name, did I? So can you tell us what are some behaviors expressed in the nice guy syndrome? What are some of these behaviors that you see demonstrated?
Well, it was actually listed. Let me see if I can get some for you. All right. There and listen, you guys will hear this and you'll start attributing to yourself. And I want you to understand that's okay.
Mhm.
Yeah? Because at some level, all of us have internalized these concepts, these scripts from our childhood. up.
Right, right.
All right.
So we've been conditioned.
Well, yeah, you could say that, but you have to take onus for the way you grow up and
Right.
for the way you think.
Right.
So if you realize you have part of these, you can take onus for yourself right now and make changes to the way you use.
So what you're gonna read there is some of the
mentalities
Okay.
common in nice guys, right?
Yes.
Some of the ideologies, nice guys or characteristics of nice guys.
Yes.
Yeah. So they are givers. Nice guys frequently state that it makes them feel good to give to others. These men believe their generosity is a sign of how good they are and will make other people love and appreciate them.
Mm-hmm.
Nice guys fix and caretake. If a person has a problem, has a need, angry, depressed, or sad, nice guys will frequently attempt to solve or fix a situation, usually without being asked. You just jump into action and see what you can do to take charge.
Mm-hmm.
Nice guys seek approval from others. A universal trait of a nice guy is the seeking of validation from others. Everything a nice guy does or says is at some level calculated to gain someone's approval or to avoid disapproval. This is especially true in their relationships with women. Nice guys avoid conflict. Nice guys seek to keep their world smooth. To do this, they avoid doing things that might rock the boat or upset anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Nice guys believe they must and this one is, I think, the most important one for most men, if not all men in St. Lucia.
Mm-hmm.
Nice guys believe they must hide their perceived flaws and mistakes. These men are afraid that others will get mad at them, shame them, or leave them if some mistake or shortcoming is exposed.
Mhm.
Nice guys seek the right way to do things. They believe that there is a key to having a happy, problem-free life. They are convinced that if they can only figure out the right way to do everything, nothing should ever go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Nice guys repress their feelings. Nice guys tend to analyze rather than feel. They may see feelings as a waste of time and energy. They frequently try to keep their feelings on an even keel. So you don't try to do any introspection. You don't try and figure out why you feel the way you feel, what's going on in your head, why you were grumpy this morning. You know, I don't think about that. Moving forward, I have work to do. Let me get ready, get them children out of the house, come back, I have to make money, I have to take care of my house.
Mm-hmm.
And you never stop to consider why you feeling that. Do some introspection. Yeah. Nice guys try to be different from their fathers. Many nice guys report, and that's I guess kind of for the States, but it might have some application here too. Many nice guys report having unavailable, absent, passive, angry, philandering, or alcoholic fathers. It is not normal for these men to make a decision at some point in their lives to try and be 180 degrees different
From the dad.
from their dad, right? Nice guys are often more comfortable relating to women than to men. Due to their conditioning at childhood, they believe that female friends are better, and they feel safer among female friends and have few male friends. And they frequently seek the approval of women and convince themselves they are different from other men.
Right.
Yeah. They like to believe they are not selfish, angry, or abusive. Traits that they put, these men are like that, not me.
Okay.
Yeah. They have difficulty making their needs a priority. And that's an interesting one that plays out a lot in the relationship dynamic. Yeah. Fellas, you all know you want sex. We know we want sex, right? We know? Yeah, Leroy, don't say
Yeah,
nothing.
of course.
All right, okay, just
You don't
checking.
answer, Leroy, you don't.
I thought you were just putting that out there.
No. I want to make sure I'm not the only one. I just say what I want. Yeah. So there's that need that you have, but you would be in a relationship and act like you're not anything. She can be my girlfriend for 7 years. And you know, as a Christian man, let's get this thing sorted out so we can be okay under God. All right? Yeah. So they often make their partner their emotional center. Many nice guys report that they are only happy if their partner is happy. Happy wife, happy life. Yeah. Papi show. What's So they will also focus tremendous energy on their intimate relationships and ignore their own wants and needs. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, that's
So we can see, based on what we described as authenticity and what we describe as a nice guy, there's a
disconnect.
a disconnect between. So if you're a nice guy, you have a problem with authenticity.
Yeah, because it's to your mind, it's to your benefit to give what people want in order to get what you want.
What you want.
It's reciprocal in your
Right,
mind,
right.
even if you don't make it plain.
Right. So it's manipulation based.
Well, you could say that, but it's literally a way of you trying to get your needs. Because remember, as children, right, and that's what's in the literature in psychology. As children, you have no power to do anything for yourself. You're completely dependent on the woman who gave birth to you. You want something, you cry, and she shows up, you realize, if I want that done, I have to cry, right? And you start learning that's how I get my needs met. And if at some level you cry and she doesn't come, you realize,
They're not working.
I can't get my needs met. Maybe I need to do something else to get it done. And you grow up, and that's the mentality we have of children to base our character on, to base our worldview on. What do I do to be safe and get my needs met? Yeah. Okay. So at some level, men realize by not showing too much masculinity or not being
Themselves.
myself, I get my needs met, and that's just become something we grow with.
Right. So let's look at what you described there as the nice guy syndrome. Based on your experience, is that something that you see in the church?
Oh, of course.
In St. Lucia?
Church is filled with nice guys.
So it's easily identifiable?
Yeah, let me give you a reason for that. Most people don't, and Bishop, you'll understand that. Most people don't understand the nature of grace, the nature of salvation. At some level, we still have this works mentality. Yeah? If I do good, I'll get into heaven. A lot of Christians have not matured to the level that they understand that grace is a gift. God has given you salvation through the death of his son. You claim it through faith. Right? Are you going okay so far, Bishop? Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So I cannot work myself into heaven. I accept it. And God loved me and accepted me for who I am. However, I have to make incremental changes, because you cannot just transform into perfection. We work through salvation to glorification. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Right. So if you don't understand how grace works in terms of your salvation, you won't understand how grace works in terms of a relationship. So you'll show up in a relationship thinking, okay, I have to be perfect to be loved. Christ just asks you to come to him.
Mm-hmm.
Pure and simple. Come to me, receive forgiveness, receive grace.
Right. So the authenticity that we speak about here, in your mind, it's not just in a relationship with somebody else. It's our authenticity goes beyond just our relationship with others, but with God also.
It has I see a mirror application. You realize when you said, do we have nice guys in the church? I said yes, because I realize a lot of persons have not understood like grace is a gift. God said your best works is filthy rags.
Mm-hmm.
And what we try to substitute into our relationships are our best works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of just being honest about, hey, I'm a flawed man. Listen, my love, I know you told me to stop doing that, but I have issues. I'm working on it. I'm not perfect right now. So you'll see that happening a few times. And even if she quarrel and she get on, you're like, hey, I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm working on me. Yeah. One day it'll change. It might not change, but I recognize it's a flaw in my part and I'm working on it.
Instead of hiding it.
Yeah.
So the authentic man says it might not change.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
a possibility it might not change.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, imagine being in a marriage with a man, yeah, and there's something about you he does not like. It might not be a bad thing. Yeah. Some traits you have are you. You might not like putting the toilet paper on that side. You might like flipping it on the other side.
Mhm.
Or leaving the toilet sit up.
Or leaving. I don't know why women get on with that.
That
Just-
shouldn't be a problem.
yeah, tap it down, whatever.
Moving on, huh?
Yeah. I see she's shaking up already.
Yeah,
Problem.
I don't like putting it down. That's why.
And you should like putting it up.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever. I don't start in a long talk. Yeah,
All
with
right,
you,
tell me
yeah.
6 or 9.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is there are some things that you might not like in a relationship. We like to moralize our preferences. Yeah. So I hear women telling, but that's how you have to wash the dishes. You're not washing it properly. Now, once the dish is clean, it's washed. You want to wash it like that, and you get vexed when you don't wash it like that. So you make a big deal. And for the sake of peace, you'll just wash it like that without challenging it. If I want to wash the dish like that and it clean, the mere fact that if you were not there when I wash the dishes, you wouldn't know how I wash it is a testament to what I'm saying. Yeah? You would rather not have that discussion and tell her, I don't understand why this is problematic for you. If you were not in the kitchen when I was washing the dishes, you wouldn't even know how I washed it. So why are we having this fight as to how I use a sponge? You want me to get you a separate sponge and I get a separate sponge? Without that fix the problem? Yeah? We have a discussion instead of kicking the situation down and letting that kind of behavior perpetuate in your relationship.
Destroy it.
Well, yeah, because if you don't take up space in your relationship, your partner will just, it's like water in a glass. If you put a small object in and you drop the water will fill up all the space. If you put a bigger object, the water will take the space it can.
Right.
Many men are like a little seed in the glass,
Right.
and the whole space is taken up by their partner in the relationship. And I'm telling men, it's not a healthy thing to do because you cannot exist in a house where you have to walk on eggshells.
So the authentic man would have a discussion over that dish.
Yeah,
thing,
man. I mean, it's
and the nice
dishes.
guy would keep the peace
Yeah.
and do
Sorry,
it
baby,
like.
I'll try and wash it like that. How you want me to wash it? Like put the sponge like that?
So basically, the nice guy is not at peace. He's not happy.
Nah.
Maybe he is. False first.
He's not happy.
Yeah.
He's not
He may
happy.
be.
Based on
Nah.
all what he said, I
Let me
cannot
explain.
imagine that man being
Let
happy.
me explain something about happiness, right? Happiness is not something anyone has charge over you. You are in control of your own happiness.
Always. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to get that
Yeah.
straightforward.
Right.
I hear a lot of young people saying they want to make a woman happy. Fellas, stop that.
Yeah. And all this.
If that girl miserable when you see her, she'll be miserable when you're with her. She has to bring happiness to the relationship. Yeah? So you thinking by doing this, I'll make her happy. That is a lie from the pit. Yeah? She's miserable. She will remain miserable. She has to bring the happiness. You cannot create that. Yeah? So if you realize you're in a relationship where someone is never happy, that's not your fault, bro. She has to figure it out. Ladies, it's not your fault. He has to figure it out. But I'm talking to men today, so this will be a gender bias conversation.
They're listening in. So hold on.
Yeah.
So-
We're
so-
going back to the dishes thing.
No, not dishes.
Yeah.
So I'm listening to Jack Glover, the definition of the nice guy syndrome.
Let me give you this.
It's not necessary.
Yeah.
But so he's given a list of guys. So a nice guy and there's
Traits.
a nice guy syndrome. There's a difference between the two.
Yeah, let's not get caught up in the semantics. It's just
Right.
words, you know. He could have very used a kind
No,
guy
yeah.
syndrome.
So what I'm saying,
Yeah.
right? But basically, when you speak about a nice guy in that context, he's talking about what he dubs the syndrome.
Yeah. That's the ideology, the philosophy that I'm good to get my needs met. I have to change or I have to project this image to get my needs
And
met.
that's the essence of.
That's the essence of the nice guy syndrome. And that has nothing
As
to do
long
with
as
the word
you're doing-
nice or guys.
Yeah, as
It's
long
just
as
a
you're
name for it.
doing to be liked.
It's performative. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
doing this so I can get this.
Right. Because the next question I would have asked, how many of those characteristics he listed as examples would it be present, and so on. But the
it's-
essence is, as long as you are doing to be liked.
And that's the important thing. We have to separate our mentality as men, and all of us have it at some level, right? I was talking to a colleague one time, and he was like, "Guys, they just want me to fight in my house, man. Every day is a fight thing." But I'm like, no. Why is America one of the most powerful countries in the world? And I use that analogy all the time. Yeah, America is one of the most powerful countries, or the strongest country. And America has a lot of peace in its borders because people know if they come and play for America, nukes raining down like rain in their own country. America is not hesitant to defend itself. They have one of the biggest spending on military budgets. It's ridiculous. You poke the hornet's nest just to get licks. So everyone just leaves America alone. America gets peace because it's powerful. America gets peace because it's not afraid to go to war. Most men are like, I don't use St. Lucia, but a little country that has no nuclear warheads, no military might, and they say they're a peaceful country. You're not a peaceful country. You're a weak country. Because if a war had to start, all you'd have to do is just wave the white flag. You could defend your borders. There's no threat coming from you. When the war starts, you just wave the flag and give up. That's not peace. That's weakness. You get what I'm saying? And that's what we do as men in marriage.
So in terms of I want to go back to the dishes there to make sure I understand. To make sure, yes. So in terms of this authentic man, if he's alone and he washes the dishes a certain way, he lives alone, he washes the dishes a certain way, that is his authentic side.
Yeah, how he does it.
How he
Because
enjoys doing it.
There's no moral argument to wash the dishes a certain way, you know. That's preference. But a lot of times we moralize preferences in our relationship. We try and find a quote in Ellen White somewhere or something in the Bible that's obscure. And we say, see, the Bible says you have to do it like that. Really and truly, that's nothing. That's neither here nor there in terms. You just want it your way. And as soon as men realize some things don't have any moral back, and you start realizing, hey, I want to do it like that. That's my preference.
So in terms of the nice guy mentality, is it just for guys, or do women display that same kind?
Yeah. Women have it too. However, what you realize is within the confines of marriage, there's a power dynamic that flips. Yeah. Before, I'm not sure if you guys ever. I used to have a lot of female friends when I was younger, and I saw women say, "Don't worry, like that. When you get married, things will change." Because there's an expectation, whether it be subliminal or not, women have that after marriage, I can be, I can do what I want. Yeah. After marriage,
who can do what they want? The man,
the
or
woman. After he locked on, the ring come on my finger, the nice wedding happened, everything sort out.
I have him.
I have him. He locked. Yeah. So now she's shaking her head.
I've heard that, yeah.
She know what I'm talking about.
You're not confirming.
I'm not that person. I'm not that person. But yes, a lot of women,
We're not putting any pressure on you.
they relax after marriage because they've gotten
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
because you've gotten the pinnacle of your desire.
Yeah.
You now under protection. You now catered for. You don't have to hustle as hard anymore. You have someone taking the lead. You can fall back and say, "Hey, we here." Yeah. funny thing for men is that the power dynamic changes after marriage because now you have to work for what you
have to
want.
prove yourself.
Nah, you have to work for what you want every week. And what do we want, fellas?
Yes.
Oh, you
Pastor
know.
David Afton. What do you all want?
You don't want anything?
No, I'm not married. I can't have that conversation.
Bishop, whether you married or not, you still want
I
it.
said super.
Yeah.
I know
Listen,
Yeah.
whether you married or not,
Yes.
whether you married or not, you still want it.
That's
yeah.
right.
It's like men have this insatiable pull toward sexual intimacy. And that's not a bad thing. That's how
It's
the
natural.
creator made us.
Yes.
Yeah, you cannot be shamed for wanting sex.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So now you're in a marriage, and that's a ritual you want to happen on a weekly basis.
Well, you think that's going to be a ritual?
Well, your expectation.
The expectation is
Is that
you're
now
gonna
I'm
get some
married.
more.
I'd have
Awesome.
to hustle for sex. I'd have to be doing things the wrong way. It'll just be it's a given. I'm married again. Sex. There are a lot of sexless marriages in our church and in our country.
Yeah.
And are you attributing this to the nice guy syndrome?
I cannot fully attribute this. It's more nuanced. It's more nuanced than that. There are many reasons why you'd end up in a relationship like that. It could be because of infidelity. It could be because of STDs or whatever. Yeah, there's a bunch of things. But in part, I'm just trying to drive the point home that men have this thing that they generally want. And it's like food. If I feed you this morning, I could be like, Kasa, I just gave you food breakfast this morning. You hungry already? It's not even 4 o'clock. You just ate at 8 o'clock, Kasa. 4 o'clock, you hungry already? Imagine me shaming you for wanting to eat food. That don't make no sense, right? But that's what we have. Men are getting shamed for wanting something that's a biological imperative. So you're now in a relationship. Nighttime coming up. It's been about 4 weeks. You trying to talk to your wife about that, and boom, they shame you. Or boom, when I wanted help washing the dishes, you wasn't.
But let's look at in that situation.
Yeah.
All right, that's a reality that exists, whether in a relationship, married, maybe at work, and all of those things. But let's use the example. What does the authentic person, the guy who's confident, as opposed to that nice guy, how do you respond or behave to such a behavior, to such
The situation.
certain response? Yeah, what would be?
What was the response?
He didn't wash the dishes. Help me wash the dishes.
Right.
Yeah, do anything.
So what
Right,
would the
right.
authentic man say
Or
vis-a-vis
even
the
just
nice
one,
guy?
yeah.
Yeah, you have a conversation. You're like, hey, I apologize. My bad. I didn't realize that. Let's have a sit down and let's see how we can plan
Right.
so we can get that sorted out.
Yeah.
However, it's been 4 weeks. We need to have a conversation about sexual intimacy in the house. So I'm not stepping aside from the washing of the dishes. We will get to that. But I brought up a situation first. Let's see what we can do with that. Are you saying that I cannot get sex until I wash the dishes? Is that what's happening? Are we negotiating my sexual needs?
Well, that's what that was. That's what that was.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If I tell you I want to have, if I bring up sexual intimacy and your response is, and yeah, wash the dishes, then that sounds
in
like,
that instance, right?
yeah, it sounds like you throwing in washing the dishes as a thing
yeah,
I
yeah,
need
yeah.
to do for me to get sex.
Right.
So let's have that conversation. Let's have, remember what I said, an unwritten contract? That's an unwritten contract. You're now telling me I didn't wash the dishes, so I cannot get sex. So in my mind is, so that's the contract. I'm bringing the contract out so we can figure out whether or not that's the issue
And
or
then-
if it's something
There are
else.
other issues because I know of in situations where you don't do that, so I won't cook food.
Right. So now, instead of having these passive aggressive conversations, you take that and you put that on the table and let's deal with that on a conscious level instead of having things that we want done without saying what we want done. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Because if you're in a relationship, a month pass or 2 months pass, you are getting nothing. That's a problem. It's not now to blame the man for infidelity and say, yeah, boy, the man down no discipline. That's cruel and unusual punishment, Bishop.
Okay.
So it sounds like the woman is creating grounds or foundation for the guy to become the nice guy.
Well, I'm not going to blame anyone for the behavior of anyone else. As a man, you're responsible for how you react to situations. You're responsible for your own behavior. It doesn't matter what your partner is doing. The responsibility is on you.
Well said.
Okay.
Yeah? I don't care if she's toxic or whatever. You need to sort out or figure out why you keep getting in a relationship with toxic women. I don't care if she's unavailable. You need to figure out why you keep finding yourself with unavailable people. The onus is always on you for your behavior.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, let me make that clear. What I'm doing is I'm offering insight, or we're looking at the nuances or why certain things happen. But the onus is always on the person for their behavior, not anyone else. Yeah.
So can if the woman does not change to adapt to her authentic man, can
Say that again?
if the woman does not change to adapt to her man being authentic,
Okay.
can that relationship last?
For sure, it can last.
Yep.
Anything can happen, but you have to play an active part in a healthy relationship. Otherwise, and that happens a lot in counseling. When people go to counseling, we usually tell them both of you should get counseling, because for some reason in the relationship you're already accustomed to the dynamic of toxicity. So you lift yourself as the good one.
The victim.
Yeah. Look at how you're acting. Yeah. I have to just stay there, and you put yourself as a paragon of virtue, and you look down on the other person as a problem. And that just kind of helps the relationship move on. I'm the good one, you're the bad one, I'm here to fix you.
Okay. Stay there. Stay that way.
Yeah.
Stay that way.
It's not stay that way. When you realize now that person is healed and that person is becoming better, that person admits to their faults, that person is taking therapy, they're trying to get better, they're working on their toxic behaviors. Now you're in a relationship and realize, oh shit, I have some toxic behaviors too. Yeah? So you're now the one putting the relationship in a funny position. So usually we encourage both partners to get counseling so that way the relationship can move forward healthily.
So is there a difference between the nice guy and the mama's boy?
What's your definition of a mama's boy?
A man who pleases his mother over his wife?
That's your definition of a mama's boy? What's your definition of a mama's boy?
In
Bishop?
females'
Yeah, I
terms?
never.
You never thought about it?
No.
For me, somebody that always by his mother. He always likes his mother. Everything is his mother.
You see how that term has different weight for different people?
Yeah.
She's looking at it in terms of her. Yeah? He chooses his mother over me.
Right.
So he's a mama's boy.
Right.
At some level, he very might well have to choose his mother over you. Yeah? You cannot be first. And a lot of women have that mentality. I'm first in everything.
Yeah.
No, sis.
But first-
God is first in everything. Take yourself a little bit of that pedestal, bring it down a few steps. We have God first, right? Man's supposed to support God. He's supposed to take care of his family. And that's how it works. You're not first in everything. There are some situations he might have to make a call. His mother's health is in jeopardy. He might have to tell you, hey, we can't go on that date tonight. Now I'm going to take my mom to the hospital. That don't make him a mama's boy.
Oh, well, that I will not think of that unreasonable thing. But what I'm
Okay.
thinking of, say, every time for decision making, the man says, well, my
to
mother
run that by my
says
mom.
that should be done that way. And
yeah.
Okay.
yes.
So that's not putting his mother over you. That's basically he's referring to his mother as an authority figure.
Okay.
And that's what I'm saying. When you use the term mama's boy, it has
But I've
so
heard
many
people use
ways.
that, huh?
What's that?
I've heard people use it that way.
Yeah.
Refer to mama's boy.
They use it in a variety
so
of the
the
term
mothers-
mama's boy can be anything that any
you
interpretation
put on it.
negatively for a man you want to put on it.
So
Yeah.
let's say, let's hear the definition then. What is?
I don't know. I don't know what the mama's boy is.
All right.
But
Does he exist?
probably
Yeah.
with the various definitions.
But is there because you explain and maybe if we look at it we can find something. But you explain is something to do with negativity.
They have a negative.
But is there a wrong thing in being a mama's boy?
Is there a wrong thing being a daddy's girl?
So a
No,
situation.
no, no, no. Hold on. Let that sit.
Yeah.
Since sis brought it up, is there something wrong
Yeah,
with
but
being a daddy's
since we're
girl?
hearing different definitions, and in my
No.
head,
So give me the definition you have for daddy's girl. A girl who loves her father.
yeah,
Right. See how it's different? A man who's a mama's boy, his mother telling him what to do. But a girl who loves her father is a daddy's girl. One has a
negative.
negative connotation and one has a positive connotation. When a girl is a daddy's girl, oh, she just loves her daddy. Look at the love she's giving her father. I'm not letting his mother do everything.
That's true.
So here is what I see different. Although Daddy's girl is like someone who the daddy loved them. And the dad loved them. a lot.
That's what our construct.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we choose our
Favored.
partner
Yes.
based on what we
Yes,
see in
I
our
love that.
daddy.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So it's a favorite. So maybe a mama's boy then should be defined as someone who his
Loves his
mom
mommy.
loves him. No,
But that's no. A daddy's girl is a girl who loves her dad.
Yeah.
So a mama's boy
is
should be a boy who loves his mom.
Uh-huh.
If we go in equivalent,
What equivalent? Whichever the
Yeah.
definition is.
because
go
why
across.
should one be negative and
Yeah.
one positive?
Yeah, it should be
Yeah.
across. So it's the definition. Mother's
Yes.
boy, also known informally as mama's boy or mommy's boy, is a term for a man seen as having an unhealthy dependence on
You
his
see?
mother at
Unhealthy.
an age at which he is expected to be self-reliant. Example: live on his own, earn his own money, be married.
Right. So you're gonna check
That is good right away.
So
but-
in the meantime, right? If I pull up, and I told my wife I'm picking up my mother, right? And when she comes, she sees my mother at the front.
Oh, you
And I
really
ask
want to
her-
have that
and I ask her to
that
sit at the back,
Mercy.
right? Because my mother's with me, and if she has an issue, every time we meet your mother has to sit at the front, and I'm at the back. So you have a definition already?
That's terrible.
that is good. A girl or
It's terrible
woman.
to do that to your wife.
Why would the wife feel that way? I pick up my mother first. Obviously, she'll come in the front.
Yeah.
So that is good.
We have a call though.
Yeah.
Oh, gee, already we haven't even finished.
We are-
Let's take
Let's
it because
take
it's
it.
almost.
Yes.
Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Yeah, good afternoon. Great conversation. Now, some lessons I will speak wisely. The thing is that most men do not know that a woman has to know that you care for her, you love her, and you need her. You see that woman thing, it's a very serious thing. You have to be a wise man to be able to understand a woman and take care of her. If you see you're not a wise man, leave woman alone. You have to be very, very wise. Because a lot of men do not realize. Because you could watch the example in the Bible, like guys like Solomon and these fellas, Abraham, all these prophets. These was really wise men, huh? You realize how these fellas are going along with the women, there isn't much problem. If you see you're not a wise man, hit it from back, me say. Leave them alone. Because you have to do a lot of what you call compromise. You have to know the things that they like and the things they like doing. But there's so much in that. You see that I feel you'll have to next week continue that, repeat it.
All right. Yes. All right.
There's so much to be talk about that here. Men have to know you have to compromise with a lot of your women. Most time it's the things that they like. You have to make a lot of sacrifices too.
Bishop, you starting to
Listen
champion
to men that
happy
are wrong.
wife,
Please listen.
happy life.
Yeah.
And
Listen
I'll
to men.
stop you right there. Don't listen to what that man just said. Yeah.
I tell you.
Everything this man just said. Block your
You
ass.
might
Hey.
even that.
Hey, you see
You
what
might
man?
even
You
have
see
to
what fellas?
compromise.
You're going to be very miserable if you take this advice. This man is doing it right now.
Thank you for your call. Listen on.
I wish-
as we discussed.
I wish you could rewind time and take out the last 50 seconds there. I'm going to just rewind everything I try and do there.
So let me ask a
Yes.
question.
You got the definition. You want to give it first?
I didn't give it.
No.
Let me ask a question. Is there a place for compromise in the life of a
What's
man?
compromise?
What it means? Compromise.
Yeah. It means nobody gets what they want.
That's what compromise means.
That's literally what compromise is.
So there's no place for compromise.
I'm not saying there's no place for compromise, but the way we determine compromise right now is I get half, you get half. Let's say I want to go Vieux Fort, you want to go Grosley.
Mhm.
What's the compromise? We go Dennery?
No, the
that's
compromise would
unrealistic.
be
That's unrealistic. In that
Which
end.
one has
Yeah,
heavier priority?
And how do we determine that if it's just me and you?
How so? I don't understand.
Well, we have to speak towards what is best for the relationship, not
The
for the
relationship.
person.
So who determines
1 second.
what's best for the relationship?
Let's use your
Bishop
example.
said 1 second.
Let's use your example. So my wife, I have to pick up. I say, babe, I can't pick you up. Then my mom just called me. She needs to go to the hospital.
Right.
All right. And so a decision is taken.
That you go.
No, I'm taking a decision. I say, babe, I cannot pick you up. I have to take my mom to the hospital now.
Right.
And so on. That was a compromise there. So she has to understand, listen, my mom is priority there.
The conversation of compromise always brings us down to that funny middle ground, and it's hard to get a middle ground
But
on many
I
topics.
don't look at it for a middle ground. Some
Yeah,
people
yeah.
do unrealistic call. Yeah, it's unrealistic in many cases.
Okay,
Never
we
half-half.
We need more time. Eh?
We lost
Yes,
it.
yes.
Go ahead.
You
Oh, we
can
lost the
never-
call?
You can never be half-half. Just like I
Yeah.
tell individuals, people look into relationships, it has to be 50-50. There's no such
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. You ever see a business run with two partners with equal rights to the business? How anything going to get happen?
It depends on who invested how much.
No. When you say 50-50, that means there's a business run with two men who have absolute control to do what they do.
Yeah, it will not work.
It will not work.
So you have a 50.
There has,
We have a
yes,
call.
there has. Just give me 1 second. There has to have someone who has controlling interest in what's going on.
51%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least 51.
Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I'm there listening to wonderful program presentation. I just want to say something. There is a saying that if your mother and your husband or vice versa, your wife is drowning, which one you will save? Now, I also bring that. The other day I bring up that my husband and I was talking, and there are some other people, and we bring up that story. Now, there is a saying that you can only have one mother, but you can have more than one husband, more than one wife. Now, when we go to the Bible says you have to leave your mother and your father and cleave to your wife, cleave to your husband, whatever. But it's a hard thing if you see your mother is drowning and your wife or your husband is drowning. And you would want to save both of them, but sometimes you have to only save one person and you have to make that decision. So what do you think about it, the man that is speaking there right now?
Okay, you listen on air.
Yes.
Thanks for your call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think these hypotheticals just make us spin top in mud. I'll never be in a situation where I have to jump in a river and save my mother and my wife. Yeah, I'll keep both of them away from a river before that happens. I don't see that happening. But here's the underlying premise behind asking that question. Who is more important to you? Yeah?
Yeah.
That's the underlying premise. And the answer is both of them have an importance in separate aspects of my life.
Yeah.
So for me to quantify it and say, oh, she's all-time important, she's all-time important, that goes back to the thing I was saying earlier. For some reason, women have this need to pedestalize themselves and put themselves in an idol position. Yeah, to be venerated. And come on, sis, you're my wife. She's my mother. There's certain things I have to do for my mother as a son. I have certain responsibilities. And there's responsibilities I have to you as a husband. Sometimes there might be an intersection between these responsibilities. And it's up to me to handle it responsibly. For you to get hurt and say, oh my God, I'm his wife and he have me in the back seat. Hey, you see, if I picked our son up from school and he's in the front seat, would you have an issue going in the back seat of the vehicle when I stop for you?
No.
So then why, for the love of everything holy, is it a problem when you see my mother in the front seat for you to go in the back seat? You need to sort out why you have a problem. If there's a woman listening who have a problem with that, you need to figure out why you have a problem with that.
People still have a problem.
Yeah. There was a big argument online. I remember seeing it about women saying
The
that's a
problem
mama's
is
boy. or
not the
whatever.
situation. The problem is the individual.
Yeah. As a woman, if what I'm saying is triggering you, you need to figure out why. That's not on me to get you sorted out because this is a normal occurrence. There will be a time you have to go in the back seat. If you have no problem when it's your son or your daughter, but you have a problem when it's his mother, that's your problem, not anybody else's. Figure it out.
So what if she's at the front and the mother tell her go at the back?
Yeah, I'm not going to let my mother do that. Go in the back. Why are you making a problem out of that? That's my mother's problem now, not mine.
Right.
So I have that thing for you.
The nice
that
girl.
is girl. You
That
wanted.
is girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a
We
while
didn't
ago.
define it?
No, we never.
Yeah. So that mama's boy was a negative.
Yeah, that is a girl or woman who is particularly attached to or indulged by her father.
So they'll say unhealthily or nothing.
No, nothing.
Yes.
We can move on to another question.
That's interesting.
Should one always be honest in a
Yes.
relationship?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's
They
no
have
such
10
thing as white lie.
Listen, they have a 10 commandments for a reason.
Yes.
God literally gave us. It's one of the 10, right? Right,
Yes.
Bishop? I'm correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just making sure.
Let's take that call. Hold your thoughts. Let's take that call. Good afternoon. You're live on the air. This is MYB.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good
Very
afternoon.
nice program.
Praise the Lord.
Thank you.
I want to ask this question. If you are in a relationship, you are married, and the person, like the gentleman said that when somebody is doing something off and you don't like it, and you want to correct the person, sometimes you correct the person the wrong way or whatever. But if that person is doing something that is hurting you, the person, how should you go about dealing with it?
Thank you for
All
the
right.
question.
You listen on the radio.
Let me correct something. I never said. Let me repeat what I said to be clear. There are certain things we moralize as being right or wrong, but they are just preferences.
Mhm.
Yeah, let's get it clear. I didn't see somebody doing something and you shouldn't do nothing. There are things we moralize as preferences. And we find a lot of things creep into that category when we want to get things the way we want them to happen in the house. Right? If someone is hurting you, that's something else. There should be a discussion, an open and honest discussion about, hey, this is the way I feel. This happened. It made me feel sad. It made me feel like you don't love me. I feel like I'm taken for granted or something is happening in a relationship that I don't like. Yeah? What can we do? How can we move forward as a couple? Realize how I said it. I didn't say you ignoring me. You don't like me. That's why my mother tell me never. Nah. The way you approach a situation and a conflict is important. All right? Men have a tendency to stonewall. Stonewalling is an emotionally charged situation. Come and you just shut down. You see that? And she talking and you're looking at her in her eye. You're not saying nothing. You're just waiting for her to stop talking. So you can say, all right, cool. And then you go away.
Yes, it is.
That's called stonewalling.
Yeah.
Yeah?
What are you thinking of that, bro?
I don't know. I'm not in that kind of country. I can ask you.
Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead, Jay.
I get tired of this man. This man dodging things left and right. Yeah,
But I'm not still
I
worried.
can't wait for that ring to come back on your finger.
Oh my
Yeah. I can't wait. Yeah. Everything you dodge, I remember to act it again. Yeah. But stonewalling is something that happens in arguments. And fellas, you're listening know what I'm talking about. She going on, yum, 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 yum. You just say, wow, boy, real tired, I ain't not going to talk in my head.
That's how women sound.
Yeah, kind of. That's how it sound in our head. And you're like, I can't wait for her to stop talking so I can go into my business. Whatever she say, I'll just say yes, finish with that. I tired, I don't have time today, I just come from work, now is not the time. But fellas, I need you to understand something. While to you it might not be important, she is going through something that she needs addressed.
Mm-hmm.
And the longer you kick that can down the road or don't address it, or don't try and figure out your emotional connection to that woman or nurture that emotional connection, you'll keep getting that problem.
Mm-hmm.
And what you're doing when you just say yes or just agree to what she said is not peace.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going back to the thing I said in America before we got cut off. As a man, what you're doing is being weak. If you don't sit down and have the fight
Mm-hmm.
and have that conversation and analyze your feelings and understand where you stand, when these situations happen and you just say, all right, baby, I'll see what I can do. And you don't say what's on your mind. She's now thinking, okay, he's wrong. He's going to fix it. The relationship is better.
Mm-hmm.
She never has a chance to do her own self-reflection or realize your point of view and grow the relationship in a balanced way.
Mm-hmm.
All she says is, yeah, okay, he'll check himself. He'll be better now.
So the foundation is already wrong.
So now you're moving the relationship to a direction where she thinks she knows the man she's with.
But she doesn't know it.
But she doesn't know the man she's with. She's having a relationship with a lie. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And the best relationship you can have with anyone is where you can be honest in the
Yeah.
house, where you can be yourself, where you don't have to walk on eggshells. And that will necessitate that you have a fight or two in a relationship. Me say, don't fall for that Disney Channel fairy tale happily ever after thing.
Mm-hmm.
A relationship is work.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, well.
So there is fight.
A relationship There will be fights, there will be conflict, there will be issues that you have to resolve. But as a man, you need to understand your feelings, you need to understand what you stand for, you need to understand your principles, you need to know your goals, you need to know where you're going forward. So when you have that fight, you can stay within that lane of this is what I believe, this is what happened when I did that. I didn't see it would affect you emotionally. That was my bad. I can do better going forward. But I want you to see it from my perspective. When I did this, I didn't do it with the intention of making you mad. I was trying to do blah, 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 blah. I see where I fell short. And let's have a discussion of how we can move forward in the future. That's called a healthy conversation.
Right.
Yeah? If you say that to a woman and you get...
Call me, let's not play basketball.
Yeah, you in a relationship with an unhealthy person. Yeah? Now, the way I showed how to have a conversation is, and I did some presentation in a few churches. I don't think I've done that in most of the churches yet. We communicate poorly in St. Lucia. When we have a problem, we blame the other person. You make me feel. Sis, nobody can make you feel anyway. Bro,
Is you that feel that way?
nobody can make you feel anyway. You feel. So what you can say is, I feel like this when this happened. I felt like that when this happened. But I don't know what it is, but we are afraid to be vulnerable. So we choose aggression and anger instead. Yeah? Instead of saying, I felt so ignored when you didn't call me today. It felt like you didn't love me. And I didn't like being in that place. You call him and say, so if I don't call you, not calling me back. So it's me that have to call you all the time. Don't worry, I see how it is. I know what I'll do next. What's that?
Let's see. Yeah.
What's that? Imagine talking to your man like that, and then he called you the next day. You think you'd feel better?
No,
Because
I tell
now
you yesterday.
you chiffoned the man to make him call you. You're not
So
going.
now it's forced.
Yeah.
Mine is
It's
forced.
not authentic.
So the man can't win. All he can do is lose. Because you don't want to be vulnerable and express yourself to the man in a way that
That's
he
what I
can
wanted
say,
to do.
hey, that's my baby, I love her. She felt weak and vulnerable. I'll try and do better, my love. Yeah?
And if you want anything, you better call him.
But
Boy.
let's
Boy.
go. You don't have done it?
Nah, there are more because I'm going to just raise something there.
Right.
A lot of men are scared to talk in a relationship because they don't want to hear that 4 months without sex thing.
Right.
But fellas, I need to understand, if you make sex the thing that you're willing to bend for, sex will continue to be used as a weapon against you.
Right.
If you make up your mind to do something and a woman say, well, that's
Nothing tonight for you.
and she vexed, boss, you can do without sex for a few months if you have to, but make sure that it's understood that this is the principle I stand for and this is what I'm going to do. Because the moment you make up your mind to do something and someone uses something against you and you stop, that
will be the
person
weapon.
knows
That's the weapon.
this is what I have to use against you to get you to stop. That's the same thing for children. That's basically behavioral psychology and education, cognitive behavioral psychology. Yeah. I know you saw the video I sent
Yes.
you, right? You're in a supermarket and your child like, making noise, trying to break stuff. And I want that. You say, nah, I give you that. You can eat that. Yeah, make more noise, start banging there on the floor. I want that. Nah, I'm going to call Child Protective Services. Okay, look. What did you just teach that child?
If you want
Threaten
something,
me with
threaten.
If I want that, that's where the line is. That's what I have to do to get what I want. And if all a woman have to say, well, if that's how it is, the one thing you know, don't come and touch me tonight. And she know, and you're reinforcing that behavior. The more you give up, the more you just turn in and just turn your head and say, yeah, baby, sorry, let me see what I can do. You go and buy the things she wanted or spend the money or do that. You're teaching and you're reinforcing the behavior that if I want this, this is what I have to do.
So, just when you said that, I'm thinking now, you have responded positively in a negative situation. The example you brought just before this. So I didn't know that's how you feel. I apologize. We're going to move forward, and then you still get that unhealthy response. But you're an authentic man, because you're healthy in terms of thought. You're a healthy man, or quote unquote the authentic man. How then do you respond to that negative response to you handling the situation?
You'd have to give me an example. What's a negative response?
No, the one you just said. You remember you said if the lady still remains negative after such
A comment.
Yeah, there's Really and truly, if that's your wife, that's something you need to think about taking to a counselor and seeing how it can be addressed in a counseling setting. If that's your girlfriend, bro, you already know what to do.
Help her get better.
Nah, you don't
You want to hate
nobody.
directly,
Nah, leave. I'm not mincing words.
You know, helping her get better.
You don't owe no one help to get better. A person has to take onus of their mental health. They have to take onus of
The emotional.
their emotional intelligence.
That's right.
They are responsible for that.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot force the one to go to
No,
therapy.
we're
and
not
get
talking about
better.
force. But in this instance, you know, for instance, let's use your example. I don't remember exactly how you said, but you recognize what you're doing there? Hey, I'm telling you this is what's happening, and I've apologized, but look at how you're responding. So I think you need to understand.
Now,
you know,
I get you. And I'll say this. There's a lot of hurt we have in our society from both men and women. I see it when I talk to men casually at the just in a grocery store. I remember one time I was picking up a water bottle and this guy was trying to reach for something and I realized it late, but my hand was already stretched. I pull out the water bottle like, boy, you're very selfish. That's how you act in life. And the man have his children, then the man hype like you want to fight me in the grocery store. I was like, hey, my bad, bro. Yeah, you're bad. Yeah, you're just selfish. That's all you care about is yourself. I'm like, yeah, boy, you have some internal stuff you need to work on, Bishop. Yeah, some internal stuff you need to work on, Bishop. I just wanted a bottle of water. I'm sorry I put my hand across you. You know the man walk away vexed still? Yeah, because there's something inside of him that he needs to heal, something he needs to sort out, but he hasn't done the work, so he just projects everything onto everyone in his life.
We'll take a short break and then we will return.
Cut them loose. The anxieties, the worries. Open up to possibilities. Accept the uncertainties and cut them loose. The bitterness, the hopelessness. Plant a seed of hope in your mind. It will grow and flourish in time. Hold on a little longer. Life encourages you to grow. You have so much to offer. Look, tomorrow is waiting to say hello. Don't give up on yourself. Instead, reach out for help.
Perhaps it's time to reach out to someone. Call the Health Helpline 203 toll-free anytime to speak to a professional. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Yes, I'll say welcome back to our listeners and viewers. We are discussing the authentic man. Are you ready for him? And we're getting some insight. And we want to go into a few scenarios that we have in our discussion. Pastor David, you wanted to say something before, or are we going into it?
No,
let's go into.
But before you go there, let me just read some things on the platform.
No problem.
I love the topic today. Thank you. It gives me more clarity on things I have very big issues with.
Wow,
That's from a female.
that's
a
great.
female.
Glad to hear that.
That's
Yes.
great. That's
Glad
great.
to hear that, sis.
So we can begin, or we have something more.
Well, Sister Albert is just saying hello to Pastor Leroy. She says she's locked on. Tekla Albert. And
hello.
And during the allotting of blame, someone says, yes, always a blame game and no solution. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yes, so we have a few scenarios. So I'm going to read them to you. You come home from work and your wife, who is home all day, has not done anything as usual. What do you say or do? Get up, get dinner organized, and say nothing, or engage your wife in a healthy discussion.
Yeah, the last sentence kind of sums it up.
So if you get dinner ready, that means you're a nice guy.
Nah. Yeah, if you just get dinner ready and you ignore the uncomfortable... Here's what nice guys do. They ignore uncomfortable conversations for the sake of...
Peace.
Peace.
Right.
If I am good, I will get peace. So the good thing to do, good in quotation marks,
Just start working.
is to just make the dinner. That's what's expected of me. That's what I have to do, and I'll get peace. But Bishop, that's not peace. That's weakness.
Right.
Yeah. To get peace, you'd have to have the conversation. Hey, what happened? You had a bad day.
Right.
Something going on. And usually when I come home, there's dinner. I don't know what's the problem. You want to talk about it? What's going on? Now that puts men, and a lot of women don't understand that. And the guys here can correct me if I'm talking for myself. when you have a conversation about feelings, men are at a disadvantage. Most of us don't know what we're feeling. We don't know how to interpret it. We're not emotionally intelligent. So to ask us about feelings is like me asking you about, you watched the Super Bowl last night? What do you think about that draw play? Yeah.
Yes.
What do you think about that draw play that the Eagles did when they came? And you have no idea what I'm talking about. And you're just watching me and you don't want to say, huh? Or I don't know, or I don't know what you mean. Explain that. Yeah, but you completely lost. And that's what it is for men navigating an emotional situation. We're completely lost most of the time. And to just say, huh? I don't get it. What are you talking about? Okay. And you just figure, say, okay, nod your head and move on.
But before you move forward, that's a very important thing you said. Most men do not know feelings, or they cannot interpret their feelings.
They know how to understand feelings.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Is it something that's taught? Is it something that...
You know, when I started understanding feelings, when I did my bachelor's degree in social work, that was in 2012.
That's when you were exposed to the feeling.
That's when I was exposed to the feelings conversation. Yeah.
So women have it innately?
I don't know. You tell me. You have it innately?
Women are more emotional, I heard. I mean, the psychologist is here. They're more emotional.
What the literature says is when women communicate, they communicate through emotions.
Right.
Yeah, they use emotion. Communication, the heavy part of communication is emotions, connecting with someone emotionally.
Right.
Yeah?
Men logical.
Yeah, when I talking to them and I care about his day, I say, everything good, bro? He say, yeah, and I move on. Boy, yeah, see what happened on the game last night? Boom. We have no emotional conversation. The only time this man will get emotional with me is when his back is against the wall and he has no one else to talk to and he needs an outlet.
So is that why, because for females, something is happening and they meet with each other and they encourage
and you're talking.
Is that why you men don't do that for each other? Because y'all can't interpret feelings or...
Yeah, but you're looking at a chicken and an egg scenario. And I'm telling you, generally, men don't study emotions. Yeah? That's like... Let me not say that on air. We'll say that after.
Are they not wired to do that because it's a sign of weakness or anything like that?
I'm not sure. I don't have an answer to that. I don't want to say something I don't know. What I can say is, me personally, my first understanding of emotions was when I went through the social worker course and I had a lecturer to ask me, I want you to go through that. Tell me how you felt. And as a social worker, how would you handle that situation? And I had to sit there and say, boy, what I feel. And then I had to go online and look at feelings, look for emotional wheel.
Definitions.
For fellas, I want you to go online and look at the emotional wheel. First and foremost, use that as your homework today. Any man listening to what I say, go online somewhere and Google a picture of the emotional wheel. Look at that wheel and look at the various emotions in it. Most men only can relate to the emotion of anger. So a man finds himself in a situation, that happens so much. You find yourself in a situation and the only outlet you have is anger because you don't know how to negotiate what you're feeling at that moment. So you're in traffic, a man passes, he almost bonks you, freak out, what boy, what that man just bonks me there? And then instead of saying, hey, that was messed up, I felt really, that surprised me.
That surprised me.
Yeah, that something really bad could have happened. That would have been messed up if you hit the vehicle. You just switch to anger one time, gas worry. And you can insert any part of it that's, I shouldn't be saying on air here. And directly you go straight to anger. Yeah, you get home, your wife is frustrating you, she's sad, she's throwing a whole bunch of feelings at you. You feel bombarded with emotion. Instead of being a mature, healthy individual and say, hey, could we take 5 minutes? It feels like a lot right now just coming in from work. I need some time to process. And maybe we can have that conversation after some time. Could you just give me a few minutes to decompress? And I promise I'll be available so we can have that conversation. You reach him, that's already. I just reach here. I say, you're already on my case already. That's already. And you just go out and drink some rum or do something. You process your emotions through anger instead of sitting with your feelings and trying to figure out what's going on. Yeah?
But there was something in that scenario that was key.
Can I read? You want me to read it again?
Yeah.
Yes. You come home from work and your wife, who is home all day, has not done anything as usual.
As usual. That's the problem.
I actually underlined it.
I missed that part.
What you say or do? You get up and you do dinner as usual, I guess, or engage your wife in a healthy
healthy discussion.
Better
That's
late than never.
right. Because what you've done, when you say as usual,
Conditioned.
that means you already conditioned her.
Exactly.
Like that is what's, and she already know when I sit there and I do nothing, I'm gonna cook dinner.
He come back.
Yeah,
There's a
I'm gonna go
problem
cook
there that
dinner.
needs to be addressed.
Right. So there's something, an elephant in the room that hasn't been addressed. Because of you might be uncomfortable talking about it, or you feel I'll just be a good boy and I'll get what I want, and then you create a situation that just keeps cycling back and forward. So yes,
So
conversation.
the point here is that it needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
Whether while you're cooking it and you
No,
deal
man, I
with it.
cooking
No.
nothing.
No, hold on. Hold on.
The woman is agreeing. She's
No.
agreeing. She said
But
no.
here's that, but there's food to be cooked.
Uh-huh.
So whatever way you choose to
There's a
handle
storm
it,
tonight.
you
We're
need
hungry.
it needs to be addressed.
Yes.
You understand?
This
It
was
is-
not an isolated situation.
Well, yeah, with that one,
It's as usual.
That's why
No cooking
that's why-
happening. We're talking.
Again, I'm
No,
talking for myself, gentlemen.
yes.
This is
No,
not
no,
a
no.
professional
As usual,
counselor. This
yes.
is Marvin J.
But one second though.
Yeah.
Let's come back. Let's come back. When Alvin said, no, MJ said he can't tell about the feelings. But when you are a young man and then you fall and you start crying and you tell you can't.
Yeah, I said, get up, guys. What are you crying for? Big man, you are. Stop
You
that.
can't cry. That's not, So from then you already thought, yeah, or you're not
I
giving
my
a hand.
emotions.
The girl will fall. She'll get an extended hand to her.
Come, baby.
And so
what
on and so
happened?
forth.
That's your boo boo. Let
So
daddy kiss it for you.
As a little, exactly. So as a young man, as a boy, you're taught, nah, get up. No one will help you. You have to stand. You have to do all of those things on your own, and that's in you. So
I mean,
from then
that's part of it, Bishop.
Yeah.
But I don't want to give that too much credence. I don't want to make it seem like we're not in control of it.
Oh no.
I want men. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
That's part of it.
Mhm.
But a lot of it has to do with being uncomfortable. And a lot of us know that emotions are uncomfortable territory,
Yes,
something we
for
don't
us.
know about.
Yes, uh-huh.
So we try to avoid it. So the onus is on us as men to
Mhm.
understand our emotions
Yeah.
so we can relate better with people.
Yes, communicate
And
it.
emotions are not feelings. I need us to understand that.
Mm.
Yeah? Feelings and emotions are two different things. Emotions are how you interact or how you deal with things that are of importance to you.
Mm.
Yeah? But that's a whole other...
Another
Oh,
topic.
We
topic
have
also.
another scenario.
Let me
we can-
take a voice note and then we'll go to the
Yes.
next scenario.
But that's a whole other...
Another
a whole
topic.
other-
We have another scenario.
Let me
we
take
can-
a voice note and then we'll go to the
Yes.
next scenario. She's listening. Hold a sec. Go on with the other scenario.
Yes, so scenario number 2. Your wife is getting ready to go out with you to dinner. When she comes out of the room, she asks you how she looks. You don't like the outfit. What do you say? Should you hurt her feelings and tell her you don't like the outfit, or lie to her, smile, and tell her she looks good? Do I read again?
Let me see my wife listening to that program.
Okay. Your wife is getting ready to go out with you to dinner. When she comes out of the room,
Bishop, I
she
already-
asks you how she
Bishop,
looks.
I already know this scenario.
Right,
You have to
okay,
read it again.
okay, right, you know
I'm
that.
very
It's good for the
familiar.
listeners
Yes.
though.
I'm very familiar with that.
Yes,
and my wife, I know she's listening to this. She probably
Yeah.
laughing all now. So
Yes.
if I don't like the dress, I'll tell her I don't like it.
But that's it's
Yeah.
the truth.
I don't like it. Now, I might not have the fashion sense or the understanding to tell you why I don't like it.
Yeah. Huh.
But
So how am I supposed
Say that
to
again. Say
accept
that part again.
yeah,
You
I,
might not have the fashion sense
Yeah.
to say why I don't like it.
but you asked me a question. Do you
Right.
like it? The answer is
But you just don't know why
no.
you don't like
yeah.
it.
It's not-
It
I'm not
might
feeling
be
it.
It's not the color, it's
I
not
know.
the
Who knows?
fit, it's
I'm not feeling
Maybe
it.
everything.
the time of the day. Who knows?
Yeah.
You ask me a question. The answer is I don't like it.
Uh,
Yeah, that's the honest answer.
okay, time of the day. So tomorrow you may like it.
Who knows?
I didn't know men go for that one.
Which
yeah,
one?
I'm not
Which
saying that's what it is. I'm just
Right,
telling you,
right.
I don't know.
Okay,
It could
all
be
right.
anything, but
Mhm.
you have to accept the answer.
Mhm.
I don't know.
But is there a better way to say it?
Tell me.
You
you
look
like the
nice,
dress?
but I do not like it.
No,
Right.
but
No, 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 no.
contradict.
Yeah.
No. Anytime you say the word but, anything you say that, we're going to throw it out the window.
No, the thing is, no, for me, it comes with rebuke. You say something
You're
nice
trying
and
to
then
make me inauthentic. That's what you're trying to do.
no. When people
I don't think she
people
looks nice.
receive correction
Yeah.
better when you know.
This is not
compliment-
correction.
No, I'm just saying the
This is an
principle.
opinion.
The principle.
Yes.
So if you tell me yes, I look nice. However, I do not like it.
But that's what you asked me. Do you like the dress? I don't like it.
Okay, I don't like it. However, you do look nice.
If I don't like it, how can I say you look nice in the same?
But you not liking it doesn't mean it changes the fact that I look nice or not.
But I don't think you look
just-
nice in it.
Oh, that's what you're saying. You don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it doesn't look nice on you.
Yeah.
Well, that's not what he said. He said he don't like it. So I was wondering.
But the question was asked to me whether or not I like it. If I don't like it and then I tell you look nice,
Then
that's a
something
contradiction in of sorts.
no, I don't think so.
So maybe then.
You can have a nice shirt and I don't like the color. I don't like
Okay.
it. But it's a nice shirt.
Fair enough. I mean that could be it. But generally, if you ask
Men
me if
don't
I like
think that way.
something, yeah. I mean, she have a point. But generally, if you ask me if I like it, I say no. That's it. Yeah. So you don't think I look nice? I mean, not really. So you saying I looking ugly? I didn't say that. I said you do look nice in the outfit. But your mind has started bringing it somewhere else because of your insecurities. You going forward with it. Oh, he said that about me. Nah. The question is, do I look nice in this? The answer is no. Yeah. Now, whatever else you have whispered in your ear on the side there, that's something you have to.
Just about to come and say.
That's something you have to work on. But the answer is no. And I'm not doing it to hurt your feelings, but you asked me a direct question. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so we might have a voice note on this, so let's take it.
Good afternoon. Wonderful discussion this afternoon.
I can barely hear it.
It made me see myself a lot. I want to cry, I want to scream, I want to shout. But to God be praised. It's such a blessing to accept and see that who you are, what you are.
So you're reaching the women apparently. I'm not getting anything from the men. Let's this.
Are you ready for it? Really? Are they ready?
Yeah.
It's good.
And the next question,
Well, I was just about
the
to say.
question that I have, how do you deal with it? How do you deal with situations like that? As the gentleman rightly said, your husband is stone cool. He not saying nothing, just hurry up and, how do you deal with that as a woman?
How do you deal with the man who is stonewalling?
That's an interesting question that you'd ask that. Give him a break. Because what you ever see an elastic band when you try
to stretch it?
Yeah. You cannot stretch an elastic band if your other hand keep following it, There has to be one here and the other one hold it and give it tension. You cannot just keep chasing someone who wants space. It's not a healthy thing to do. So at some level, the dynamic is created because he doesn't feel like he has any breathing room. So he does that. Also, it's not on you to change anyone. I just want to say that. Let me just explain.
Yeah.
The dynamic for stonewalling is that the person is being overstimulated, so they just shut down. Yeah? You cannot fix that. That's what the dynamic is. You cannot fix that. The person has to take ownership. There needs to be some kind of counseling, some kind of therapy, some kind of
working on,
yeah. Yeah, it's not on you to change it, sis. You cannot bring the horse to the water and just glog it head in the water to make it drink. Yeah? That's what it is.
Okay, so I have some comments here. Some men beat and treat his woman bad and think that having sex with her will fix everything. That's one comment. Another, and it's a woman that's responding here.
It's okay.
How is telling her how she looks hurting her feelings? You being honest, just be smart about it. Know how sensitive women can be. I'm going out with you. It's about us. I want to know that my man feel good about the way I look besides him. I want him to be honest with me.
Your sensitivity is yours.
Oh, but,
You cannot ask a man to be honest and then tell him you have to remember how sensitive women are. She have to check. If you want an honest man and you reward him by making him feel bad, you're conditioning him not to be honest. Right? Now, it's not your fault. It's on him as a man to stand in his ground and see what he has to say. But by the way you respond to something,
you're creating
him to go and hide in a pocket and not feel safe to see what he has to say. But again, fellas, and if there are any men listening to me, it's not your woman to make you feel safe to say what you have to say. You have to have the testicular fortitude as a man to be straight up, to be principled, and to say what you have to say. She will cry.
Say it respectfully.
Listen, I'm not saying anything about disrespect.
No,
yeah?
I'm
Yeah.
saying it respectfully.
But as a man, the same way you talk to any other man without trying and fight with him or whatever, but be straightforward. You need to be principled. You need to understand yourself first. And that's a big thing for men. You need to understand yourself and your feelings first, and then you can have straightforward conversations with your partner. But when you hesitate to do that, you're just creating a situation where these things happen. She cry, you back up. So she know when she wants to go, she just have to cry. Yeah? And nothing wrong with crying, people. God made us able to cry. If you have to cry or your feelings hurt and you cry, that's okay. That's part of the game. But now you understand, okay, this is how my man is. If I don't start crying again, I won't ask him that question again. Yeah? I will not ask my man a question I don't want the answer for.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But
I want the
that
answer,
means-
but maybe I'm not prepared
That
for
means,
it.
that means you're unauthentic here because you really want to ask him the question.
No, you can. I'm not saying to ask him the question, you know, but now you know. If I ask him the question and I get the truth and I cry,
I'll be ready.
Yeah.
I have to be ready for the answer.
Yeah, so you're not ready for that
You
conversation.
reached
Don't
a
ask that
female
question.
today. She says, by God's grace, I'll allow him to work on me. Let's
Praise
go
the
to the
Lord.
next
Praise
scenario.
The next
We have-
scenario. You and your wife are going to the grocery shopping. A beautiful woman passes by and you catch a glimpse and turn your head forward. Your wife saw you looking and asked, you like to see her?
Yes.
What do you say? Do I need to repeat the scenario?
Nah, it's a very familiar scenario. Yeah. I got in trouble last time I brought that scenario up, so I'm glad I get a chance to go over it
To
again.
address it, yes.
There were a lot of...
You got in trouble with men, eh?
Yeah, fellas.
Imagine that.
Yeah, because, well...
Fellas tell you behave yourself, don't rock the boat.
Yeah, don't rock the boat. But the boat have to be rocked, fellas. Let's rock the boat. Because what happening is, a lot of women looking at me like I'm a strange fella, or I lying to them. Because everybody else telling them one thing and Marvin alone not saying that.
Right.
But man, you know, it's true. I say, you're walking down, you see a nice shape, something looking very good, you look at it. You like to see it. Your wife saw you looking at it. So she know you like to see it. She's putting you in a situation for you to be real with her. Maybe you can even have the conversation about what about her you like to see. So she in herself can say, all right, that's what he like. And you know, she can get an understanding of the man she's with. Instead, you say, nothing. I watch it. I mean, I saw something on the road there. I just figured, I know that was a bottle stop. Yeah, be for real. She passed there. She asked you, and one of the gentlemen that heard that said, but why would you just tell your wife somebody looking good? I didn't. She asked me if I like to see that woman. And at that point, I'm put in a position to be authentic, to be real, to show my wife who I am, to be vulnerable and tell her, hey, you know, I like big butts. She passed there. That look nice. Now,
I know a friend of mine
You
who
have
has
nothing to
these
say.
discussions with his wife. He and his wife look at the person, you know, together.
yeah, now there are some women are like women are like that. But more often than not, you find yourself in a situation where a woman makes it a personal thing, and it's also that you like.
Right. No. The last time that came up, I was saying, listen, you have to be honest and you have to know the situation, you have to know your lady. If your lady is a quote-unquote conqueror's lady, I basically, I know what I can do with my wife. If my wife I know what conversation I can have with my wife.
So you're going to be authentic part-time?
No. What I'm saying, no, you're not
Your friends.
No, you're not getting it. You're not.
She messing with you.
I know what I can do with my wife. So don't go and do what I can do with my wife. Don't go and try and do what you can and you cannot do with your wife. If your wife is conqueror's, you tell you're not ready for that conversation, just like I was saying. So I asked that, you know, and so on and so forth. But I know what I can do with my wife, what discussion I can have, how mature she is, and so on and so forth. So if you dig in for a war, well, he's telling you take the war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because sometimes
I'm
you
saying,
might just do
listen,
something or ask something that is
fellas,
unprecedented.
Fellas, I challenge you. I challenge you. And every man knows this, right? You if you're a woman and you just feel in your gut, why you trying to start something? Fellas, tell me if I lie. You ever talk to a girl and you just say, you feel that thing in your gut like, yeah, she want to start something today with me?
That might be indigestion.
Yeah, it could be. But more often than not, my gut is correct. Fellas, tell me if it's only me. You'll don't have a conversation and realize.
Of course, you know.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, looking like she's looking for a washing one there somehow.
So can I ask a question?
So you give
Can I ask a question? Do women actually do that?
Yes.
Women
Yeah,
actually?
we do.
There are times when
So
you
I'm not
create
delusional.
friction.
We do, yeah.
Okay,
I'm
so
not
we
delusional.
confirming that.
Yeah, it happens. Now, what you do
I'm
when
authentic.
Richie,
What?
check my phone here.
Share that mic far. Yeah, but what what most men don't realize is that you make your relationship interesting when you can be vulnerable and real with your
Wow.
woman.
Say that again.
You make your relationship interesting.
Interesting.
And that's the whole vibe about being in a relationship. It's not about what the first caller said, happy wife, happy life. Sometimes you just have to, I throw that away. Don't listen to that. Be yourself in your relationship. As painful as it might be, as uncomfortable as it might be yourself. And I challenge every man listening here. Stop being fake. Be for real in your relationship. Your wife asks you something, be straight up. You get sex for 3 weeks? Hey, whatever. Sex is not everything in the world, bro. Your respect, your dignity, who you are as a man, your principles, that matters most. Don't let, and I always tell my partners that we don't negotiate with terrorists. Anytime somebody tries to hold something over your head and force you into a corner, we don't negotiate with terrorists. That's America's position, and that's my position. Yeah? Because what happens is now you're showing persons what to use to manipulate you. And the minute you do that, you put yourself in a weak position. Because if I did it once, I'll have to do it again. If all Al Qaeda has to do is tell America, hey, we have 2 fellas there, we want you to send a care package to the Middle East right now. So all they have to do now is kidnap tourists. So now you're creating a situation where Al Qaeda is going to put themselves in a way to find people to use that against you to get you to do what they want.
Last scenario?
Yes.
Thank you for the time, Miss Aditya. Your wife is your stepdaughter was very disrespectful to you, and you are correcting her for her behavior when your wife, her mother, asks her to go to her room. What do? Say nothing to your wife or tell her how what she did affects how the child is disciplined in the home.
Yeah, boy, you're really ego like what I'm about to say. Yeah.
Let's hear it. Be authentic.
Yeah, going to be authentic, for sure. Fellas, if you're single, I wouldn't advise you to marry a woman with children.
Ooh. I see why you said that.
Being straightforward. If you're single, I would not advise you to marry a woman with children. Start your own family.
And vice versa?
Yeah, but that's not how it works in terms of marriage. But usually it's a woman taking care of the child. That's how the laws of St. Lucia give it. They give a woman full rights, especially if it's an unmarried situation. Yeah. However, if you are already in a stepdaddy position, the child is really not yours. Yeah. The child belongs to her mother. Her mother has full rights. So you're in a sticky situation in that house. In terms of raising a child, even if the child is not yours, you still bear some of the responsibility because you can't feed only your wife and yourself. The money has to share in the house. Everybody getting to eat. Your situation is this. As a parent who's co-parenting a child who's not his, you need to be on grounds with his mother. You all need to have a conversation about child rearing. You also need to talk to the father of the child if he's present in the child's life. As 2 men who are adult, mature individuals, you're supposed to have a healthy conversation about how to work in the best interest of the child in terms of discipline, in terms of getting that child to grow up, to be healthy. This is no longer about you wanting to be immature in that house and say, you got some working home. Nah, we're not here for that foolishness. We're here for the best interest of that child. And whenever children are involved, I take a different position in terms of relationships. At that point, it's no longer about you. It's about the children and raising a healthy, responsible children. Yeah? If you are a stepfather in the house and there are issues in terms of raising the child, after the mother says whatever she says, that's not the time for you to start fighting in front of the child. When you and the mother have time, you need to sit back and have a serious conversation about how things work. As a man, it's thankless work being a stepfather. Let me say that right now. It's thankless work being a stepfather. You can be a stepfather for 8 years, and then the woman decides, you know what? I don't like that relationship, and boom, that child have no responsibility to you. All that money you spend there go down the drain. All that investment, emotional connection, it doesn't matter. You have no legal right, nothing. It's thankless work. So now that I've told you that, if you want to go ahead and do it, hey, it's you. You've been given all the tools you need, all the information. If you want to go ahead and do that, go ahead.
So the authentic man who is a stepdad, is it hard for him to be authentic at that point?
I wouldn't know. I've never been there. But I can surmise that you're in a situation of a legal matter in terms of the child. And I would advise you to have all these conversations before you put yourself in a house with a woman and a child. And know that when you're about to do that, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. No matter how precious she thinks her child is to her, oh, my child nice or whatever, that's her child. It has nothing to do with you. And there's another man attached to that scenario. You can easily find yourself in a situation where a child say, he did this, he did that. And then all the nice talk you and that woman have will just go out the window.
All right, so that was the last scenario, but I have one more thing to ask based on a video I saw. It was about an interview being done with couples who've been married for very lengthy years, 42, 52, 62. And every single husband said the reason why it lasts that long is because she's the boss.
Yeah.
Or
I just do what she says.
just agree with
Yes.
everything she says.
Yeah.
Why is that lasting so long if that's the reason why it lasts long? Because that's the nice guy syndrome.
Yeah, but only women care about happiness. Men don't put happiness into a relationship. That's why you have that situation.
So he's getting his food, he's getting his S. And
Yeah, the bare minimum. You might not even be getting S. What happens is you in a situation where the bare minimum is what you're getting. And that's why you have these midlife crises happening when they turn 60, 50. Because, and when you look at some of the testimonials, you hear fellas say, boy, I just saw my best friend die. And I realized I've lived my whole life worrying about other people and not myself. I've never thought about what I wanted. Fellas going and buy Harley Davidson at 60 years old, going and do skydiving, all kind of madness, just leaving their families and going away. And the women realizing, I don't know what happened. We had a happy relationship. Everything was going good. Yeah. But this man suddenly got confronted with his own mortality. And he realized that he hasn't done anything for himself. He's just been walking on eggshells in the house, doing things for his partner. And then finally, when he came to that point in life, he realized, you know what? Forget all that. Let me do something for myself. And these men generally regress to an age where they started doing things for people. That's usually around 18, 20. And they go back and they do all the bucket lists that they never accomplished from that age. That's why it looks so irrational to you. Why is a 60-year-old man putting cornrows and going on
a stud.
What going on there?
Yeah.
And he realized from that age, he realized that he was living life for other people and he never got to do the things he really wanted to do. So now he's been given an opportunity and he's an adult. He have nobody watching him. He can do what he wants. Nobody can tell him anything. So the first thing he can think of is, yeah, boy, I remember when I was 22 and I wanted to do that. Yeah, that's part of what happens around a midlife crisis.
So we know we missed a couple of calls, but you know our time has fast spent. We have one quotation from Great Controversy, page 45.3, paragraph 3. It says, if unity could be secured only by the compromise of truth and righteousness, then let there be difference and even war.
Exactly.
Someone says you call them man you must. Just saying.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Like man you must, like
you just
the
listen
man
to the
just
woman.
does everything the woman says. Yeah.
Oh, man, you must.
Man you must. Yeah.
Yes, Pastor David.
Man, you must. Yeah, man, you must. Yeah, in reality, God expects us, and I wish you could have taken the other quotation, but in reality, God expects us to be men of principles. And where we get that authenticity we want and we should model is that from Christ. And so my desire for each and every one of us is to look at that man Christ and then follow his example and be real in this world.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. I want to thank everyone for listening. We thank our viewers, our listeners, and above all, we want to thank our guests, our brother, MJ, for speaking with us. And of course, I almost said I'll have to challenge him on the court, but we're thankful, to have him here by God's grace, and
you're ready for that one.
And everyone here in the studio as well. And as we sign off, we want to remind you, wherever you go and whatever you do, mind your business.
Thank you for tuning in. We hope that this program has helped you to understand a little more your God-given responsibility to care for one another. Join us next Wednesday at 2 p.m. for another episode on Mind Your Business with Pastor Leroy David and Alvin Flores. Mind Your Business was